because a lot of our people walk around calling themselves Muslims. The Muslims had us in slavery. The Muslims beat that religion into us.
Right.
Who was it? Muhammad? Muhammad, he was an illiterate camel driver for the Israelites. And he took many things from our religion and applied it to his own when he made the nation of the Muslim faith. It has nothing to do with us. It has nothing to do with our salvation. You are not going to go to heaven believing in the Nation of Islam. You're not going to be saved believing in the Nation of Islam. This country that we live in today, in the Bible, is prophesied to be destroyed by thermonuclear missiles, thermonuclear fire. Believing in a rock is not going to save you from that fire. I'm gonna tell you straight. There's a lot of people that say, well, I don't listen to the Bible because I like to read this book, or I don't listen to the Bible because it's made up, or this or that, or this or that. So many different fallacies, correct? But the Bible says that there's no wisdom, there's no counsel, there's no understanding against this book. You can't take a book and say, well, this book has more weight and it's more true than this book. Right. That's not true. Right. That is not true at all. And you understand why? Because all the other books that people are reading, it's still leading them into a state of confusion. I read the Bible.
That's right.
Baruch chapter 3.
I read the Bible. I believe
Baruch 4 and 1.
Baruch 4 and 1. Thank you.
This is the book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 1. Read out. This is the book of the commandments of God,
right?
And the law that endureth forever.
So people also sometimes look at the Bible and say, oh, well, it's a book of fairy tales. Read that again.
This is the book of the commandments of God.
This is the book of the commandments of God. This book has commandments written for us to live and apply to ourselves today. Read on.
And the law that endureth forever.
And God's law endures forever.
I got a question.
Yes. I'm here to answer questions.
So, it don't got a lot of conflicting situations in this book.
Like what?
Like in Proverbs and in Acts. First in Proverbs it tells you that he was hung from a tree for flagrant crimes. That's one, right?
Proverbs?
I never in my life heard of a white man that got hung from a tree for flagrant crimes. That's one.
Well, let me stop you right there.
You know, black
because
Jesus
Christ was not white.
I never said that. I'm just trying to figure out how did it become that this is what they portrayed, when I know for a fact the Vatican was supposed to ban that. And how did it come about that the blue-haired white man that they so-called chose to capture our black man could hide in the black Jerusalem thousands of years ago before we was tainted?
Exactly. So I'm agreeing with you there. Christ
and then it starts with Adam and Eve, correct?
Okay.
Who came and made who? Cain and Abel, correct?
Right.
So somebody needs to explain to me why is it that they don't explain the third son?
Seth?
Yeah. Why they don't talk about Seth?
They just talk about Seth. They talk about his lineage.
Yo, where the other people came from? Who had the baby?
Adam and Eve had the baby.
No, after Cain and Abel, because Cain killed Abel. So who had the next set of kids?
Adam had the next set of kids. Adam and Eve had more children.
No, I never read that part.
Right, Genesis 5, these are the generations of Adam.
Yes.
Genesis 5 and 2.
No, I'm just asking.
Absolutely, and this is why we're going to
I gotta ask y'all, because every time I go to the church, they ask me if I'm Muslim.
The book of Genesis chapter 4, verse 25. Bring it on. And Adam knew his wife again.
You understand? Adam knew his wife again, meaning what? That they laid down, after they had Cain and Abel, they laid down together again. Read.
And she bare a son and called his name Seth.
And she bare a son and called his name Seth. So Seth is the son of Adam.
Okay.
Read on.
For God said she had appointed me another seed instead of Abel, whom Cain slew.
So that answers your question right there. God allowed her to get pregnant again, and that's when they had Seth. So when you go to the church and you ask them, and you're trying to ask them these questions, the reason that they can't, yes, sir. The reason that they can't answer it is because they don't have understanding of the Bible. Why? Because they're not keeping God's commandments. That's the only way you're gonna get understanding.
I just wanted to.
Well, I got one more thing for you, bro. I got a few more things for you, but let's go to 1 Corinthians 3:16. Because so let me ask you another question. Do you believe in the Nation of Islam? Is that why they ask you? Is that why they ask you that question in church?
No, but I do follow a lot of brothers that do. But I don't ask to go into that. It's just the questions that I ask that they feel they can't answer. Because I know a lot. I know a lot about the Vatican hidings and there's a lot going on.
All right, so go to Deuteronomy 28, verse 64. So one of the reasons, we read it earlier, one of the reasons why the church today is completely confused is because God said that he would make the remembrance of us, the Israelites, to cease from
My mom passed away. Sing for my mom.
Can he get a prayer for his mom?
We don't pray in public. We don't pray in public. That's against the Bible. That's against the Bible. According to Matthew chapter 6, that's against the Bible. That's what Christ said. So now, now, the Nation of Islam, the Muslim faith was taught to us in slavery. That's Bible prophecy. Let's read that.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 64.
Bring it out.
Verse 15 first.
Verse 15. And it shall come, but it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So God said that all these curses will come upon us and overtake us. All these curses will come upon us and overtake us. So now one of the curses, one of the reasons why we follow other religions outside of God's commandments is because we've been cursed and our understanding was removed from us. Now go to verse 64.
Verse 64. The Lord shall scatter thee among all people.
So God says one of the curses for breaking his commandments was that he would scatter us among all people. So that's why in Eastern Africa and in the Middle East, where many of our people are, the predominant religion out there is Muslim. And a lot of our people are caught up into that thing because they don't know who they are today. It's been removed from us. We don't.
From one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods,
right,
which neither thou nor thy fathers have known.
So now it says in these other lands that we occupy, it says that we would serve other gods. Our forefathers didn't know about them. Why? Because our forefathers were connected to the Most High. Our forefathers knew that they were Israelites. Our forefathers knew and understood the commandments that they were given to us as the Israelites.
Right.
But it says that our forefathers, they don't know who these new gods are. It's going to go into it. Read.
Even wood and stone.
So now, the two major religions across the planet are Christianity, which is the wooden cross, and stone, which is the Nation of Islam. Because people go to Mecca, they walk around the Kaaba stone, correct? Just like you see right here. The people going to Mecca, the yearly Hajj, the annual Hajj, walking around the Kaaba stone. So God said that we will be scattered into corners, scattered among other people serving their gods. Christianity was never a part of us. That was never something that God required of us. Walking around a rock was never something that God required of us. Let's get Deuteronomy 10 to 12. Let's see what God required of us.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 10, verse 12.
Bring it out.
And now, Israel, what doth the Lord thy God require of thee?
Right.
But to fear the Lord thy God.
So the first thing that we have to understand, what's your name, by the way? T? Okay, I'm Gamliel. The first thing that we got to understand, T, is that God requires something of us. It's not one of those things where you can just wake up and do whatever you want. and not ever have to answer to the Most High God. Whether you answer to Him in this life or when you pass it's going to be death. But you have an opportunity now to get your mind right, because God requires us to fear Him, to fear His judgments. Read on.
To walk in all His ways,
Right?
and to love Him, and to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul, to keep the commandments of the Lord and His statutes, which I command thee this day for thy good.
We're supposed to keep God's commandments for our good. But because we chose not to keep God's commandments for our good, that is why we serve other gods today. Wood and stone, Christianity and the Nation of Islam. Let's go to Joel. Jeremiah 3 and 2. I want to give you this understanding, because a lot of our people walk around calling themselves Muslims. The Muslims had us in slavery. The Muslims beat that religion into us.
Right.
Who was it? Muhammad? Muhammad, he was an illiterate camel driver for the Israelites. And he took many things from our religion and applied it to his own when he made the nation of the Muslim faith. It has nothing to do with us. It has nothing to do with our salvation. You are not going to go to heaven believing in the Nation of Islam. You're not going to be saved believing in the Nation of Islam. This country that we live in today, in the Bible, is prophesied to be destroyed by thermonuclear missiles, thermonuclear fire. Believing in a rock is not going to save you from that fire. I'm gonna tell you straight, bro. It was taught to us in slavery. It is a slave-minded religion. That's why they still have us in slavery today. It is not for us. The Bible, God's commandments, is for Israelites, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Those that you see on that sign.
We used to scream black power while Heron was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold. From Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are how men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.